Hi and Assalamualaikum, my name is Juliana binti Ismail and I will start our group presentation with the company's background. ABC Company is a natural gas distribution operation in Malaysia. It was established to sell, market and distribute natural gas as well as to develop, operate and maintain the natural gas distribution system within Peninsular Malaysia. They are permitted to supply and sell reticulated natural gas in Peninsular Malaysia under the Gas Supply Act 1993. ABC Company's vision is to be an innovative value-added energy solutions provider, and their mission is to provide the cleanest, safest, most cost-effective and reliable energy solutions to the nation. In line with its vision, Gas Malaysia had successfully unbundled its business operations into two separate entities via the awarding of a distribution license and a shipping license from Suruhanjaya Tenaga. Next is risk identification tools that are used by ABC Company to identify all possible risks and provide solutions for mitigating risk. The first one is exposure checklist. It is a tool to help employers and workers assess workplace health and safety risk exposure, identify prevention and control risk factors. There are three items in ABC Company's exposure checklist, which are public safety, occupational health and safety, and greenhouse gas and emissions. Secondly, orientation. The issues of occupational safety and health might occur in this company. Without safety and policy, the possibility of risk is very high. Safety policy is a principle and recommendations to follow in matters of health and safety at work, as well as the organization's commitment to safety. Next, analysis of financial statement. Based on the financial statement of ABC Company, it shows that the company might face business risk, which involves economic and business performance. This is because the company's cash and cash equivalent decreased due to the higher payment of gas cost and capital expenditure. This can be seen through the balance sheet that presents the company's financial position, which includes the company's assets and the liability and equity claims against those assets. Last but not least, insurance policy checklist. Insurance policies are used to protect against the risk of large or small financial losses resulting from damage to the insured property or from liability for damage or injury caused to a third party. ABC Company only offers liability insurance. It is a type of coverage that protects the employers from the high cost of lawsuit and aids the company in obtaining leases and contracts.
Next is the risk exposure, existing and potential risks in this ABC Company. For ABC Company, there are two existing risks and two potential risks. The first risk that the group faces is an operational risk. It is defined as the risk of workplace accidents that results in injury, death, property damage or environmental damage. This risk is often associated with decisions made in relation to the way the organization functions. Not only that, but this risk can also cause financial loss directly or indirectly to the company. The second existing risk for ABC Company is a business risk, which is influenced by a number of different factors, including consumer preference, demand and sales volume, government regulations and economic climate that may affect the company's effort in creating sustainable value with the shareholders and stakeholders. This is because a company that has a high degree of business risk may impair its ability to provide investors and stakeholders with an adequate return. The ABC Company faces intense competition and failure to maintain a competitive and technologically advanced product range that causes a reduction in demand and supply, which could reduce its margin and revenue growth, because there are a few more gas companies in Malaysia that could give better service to customers. Not only that, the group was also exposed to business risk in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Its impact on the worldwide is affecting businesses' expectation and operations and causing delay in investment. All businesses nationwide were either ordered to close or were limited to operating at limited capacity. Due to the movement control orders, the demand for natural gas fell, which affected daily businesses' operations. The impact on ABC Company was almost acute during the first movement control orders, which were reflected in lower revenue and profits. A gas company, ABC company, is very vulnerable to any risk, so any potential risk need to be constantly monitored as a precautionary measure to cut them with in advance to prevent such risk from occurring. Regulatory risk is generally defined as the risk of a license to operate being revoked by a regulator or having conditions imposed on an enterprise that has a negative impact on its economic value. A change in the government's or a regulatory body's laws regulations can raise operational expenses, diminish the attractiveness of an investment, or alter the competitive environment in a specific industry. The main activity is to produce products for most oil and gas companies that have a high potential to bring harm to the environment, such as greenhouse gas and emissions. A study conducted by the United States Environmental Protection Agency in 2019 stated that 23% of the source of this greenhouse gas emission is coming from industry. Another potential risk for ABC company is a reputational risk. It is a potential threat or danger that can erupt without warning to the business or company's good name and reputation that could occur in variety of ways. Generally, the causes of reputational risk can arise by the company's action, stakeholders' action, and customer feedback. The result from the bad companies and employees give a bad impression to the public and will threaten the company's good name. Reputational risk can occur in many ways, including customer satisfaction, especially from customer feedback. Other than that, ethics and integrity should be in every business owner, business partner, and employee to reflect the group's commitment to governance that goes beyond just curbing bribery and corruption. This issue has the potential to be a reputational risk in the future because it is a person's responsibility and integrity to control themselves in doing bad things.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad USAMAH bin JOHARI and my matric number is 067357. In this section, I will describe the risk implementation for ABC company. First of all, I will explain the definition of risk implementation. Risk implementation is defined as the process of formulating and designing a strategic plan to address the risks and threats and then implementing the plan action to implement the risk management plan. ABC company operates globally in a variety of markets and is affected by a number of risks in its activity that are not at all within its control. ABC company has faced intense competition and a failure to maintain a competitive and technologically advanced product range that could reduce margin and revenue growth. This problem can be solved if the implementation of risk management is well organized. ABC company needs to first identify the risks that plague the company. Next, ABC company needs to ensure that the three basic activities are identified before implementing them, namely resource acquisition, resource flow, and resource coordination, so that the existing resources are used at the best level. Next, the production process by the most gas production companies can cause accident risk to workers while carrying out production operation, such as failure to use machinery or equipment, gas leakers, fire, and others. Training and practical programs are conducted every month to improve the skill and potential of employees with a high level of motivation so that they are more committed and professional while working in this company. Many motivational and expert and experienced employees in the company are called upon to guide a program so that the ultimate goal of risk reduction is achieved. Not only that, ABC company productivity processes are also exposed to environmental risks such as pollution affecting communities, hazardous emission causing climate change, development damaging forest areas, and drilling disrupting wildlife habitats. Therefore, the company implements clean energy distribution, natural gas use, and energy efficient generation. The company also follows procedures recommended by the government and use company money and subsidy money to install channels on building so that it does not affect environmental pollution and local residents. Finally, FBC company needs to implement a reputation risk control plan to enhance the company reputation and continue to thrive. The company also boosts trust and confidence among stakeholders, as stakeholders are very important parties for the company in terms of social impact, financial impact and operational impacts. The company also cares about customer feedback by conducting marketing programs and improving service processes. Despite the COVID-19 outbreak hit, FBC company remains committed to maintaining relationship with stakeholders and customers to reduce reputational risk from hitting the company and also build trust with them.
Now, let's jump into the risk management technique and mitigation. Risk avoidance. Risk avoidance is one of the risk control techniques by which risks are proactively avoided or abandoned after a rational consideration process is carried out. This technique can be implemented through policies and procedures, training and education, and technology implementation. Risk management technique and mitigation from FBC company is led by the board of directors and assisted by management, internal and external auditors in ensuring that the risk avoidance objectives were smoothly. Risk avoidance is implemented in accordance with the process that has been used by FBC company with several assessments and expert opinions implemented first before the risk avoidance decision is finalized.
Loss control is one of the risk control in this technique. It can be defined as the proactive step taken to prevent or reduce loss caused by an accident, injury, illness or property damage. The purpose of this method is to reduce the frequency and severity of losses. This risk is usually caused by deficit of hazard identification, risk assessment and risk control. So in order to make a safer workplace for employees, ABC company mitigates the risk by ensuring approved hazard identification, risk assessment and risk control or job safety analysis are available at the site. Other than that, FBC holds periodic facilities inspection to detect any abnormalities at the facilities. This is because to minimize the losses because supply interruption with damage to gas facilities could lead to much more severe loss of revenue and it could also incur cost overrun to restore supply. Hence, by holding inspection to detect any abnormalities at facilities could eliminate any potential existence of terror groups in the supply area. This is an example of loss reduction where ABC holds facility inspection to minimize the loss of revenue or the severity of losses.
Separation. This technique involves the dispersal of the ABC company's assets in several locations instead of confining them to one major area. This measure will reduce the impact of losses should a major disaster occur. The location of each building must be properly planned so as to minimize losses. For example, distributing gas through multiple separate branches reduces losses in one major phase. The separation of exposure units can reduce ABC company's dependence on a single asset activity or production, making the company's losses smaller. For that reason, separation is a risk control technique in which the goal is to reduce overall severity. Contractual transfer. Contractual risk transfer is a legally impossible method of transferring risk to the party most likely to control the risk associated with the service to be given. To put it another way, risk transfer entails one party taking on the obligation of another. There are many ways risk transfer can be implemented, such as incorporation, risk contracts, hedging, and non-prejudicial agreements. Several technical criteria are involved in this contractual transfer, such as indemnification agreements, non-hazardous contracts, or supplementary insurance. Nevertheless, when MC company signs a business contract, the most important thing is a statement of whether part of the agreement should state who is responsible in the event of a problem. These terms are not always clear and can vary depending on MC company's circumstances, so the company seeks professional legal guidance. This effort is meant to understand more about how this transfer works so that risk transfer
risk retention is a risk financing under financial risk management that uses funds from within an organization to pay for the losses it incurs. As a gas company, ABC company cannot avoid safety, health, and environmental risk as the group was exposed to gas extraction that can be very dangerous. The long working hours, difficult working conditions, and complex machinery may break down to cause serious injury to the person. It is very important for the group to have risk mitigation that is well explained as business and risk however possible to protect company finances, branding, reputations, and their personnel as they were always exposed to safety risk. As a result, risk of occupational injury and health illness amongst personnel and damage to the environment can be prevented and eliminated.
These insurance are one of the risk financing that ABC company use as method to prevent risk from occurring in its company. Most gas firms as well as their contractors have traditionally insured themselves to reduce their risk. Unfortunately, it is only after a major loss that they discover the flaws and limitation in their coverage. Tighter budget as well as difficulty in tracing supplies and equipment quality are some of the inherent risks that the business might face. This is one of the wisely decisions that has been made by ABC company because self-insurance and captive insurance are the most effective method for dealing with a particular risk, and they also feel it will save money in the long term. Since the ABC company chose to have its own captive insurance corporation, as a result, they can reduce the insurance costs. Most businesses do not take on as much risk as they are functionally capable of. Commercial insurance companies have substantial administrative costs which are passed on to their customers in the form of premiums. By holding a premium for predicted loss, a captive can decrease the overall cost of an insurance program. Next, insurance is a technique of risk financing in which an insured organization or individual transfer the financial consequences of future accidental losses to an insurer. When a corporation believes it is more cost-effective and useful to shift the risk to another entity, this strategy is applied. As to identify risk by using insurance policy checklist tools, liability insurance has been used by ABC company. This insurance has two categories, which is general liability and professional liability. General liability insurance covers costs incurred as a result of occupational incident that may result in injury to others or damage to their property. Besides, they also use professional liability insurance, which can be defined as covering any losses that may occur as a result of employees' errors. The insurer also known as errors and omission insurance. Safety and risk management should be a key focus in the gas business. ABC company should face crippling losses if they do not have the right risk management, training and education in place, as well as gas field liability insurance. The insurance they purchase should cover their employees against damage, injuries, fines, and other costs linked with its service.